Took me all by surprise then, Mark. Oh, the applause. What did I say? Take a bow. Take a bow.
And them school kids clapping you again.
Yep. And I've got great fans out there. Great fans, you know. Anyway, here he is. Wow.
There's my fans. Look at them all. Right?
A stadium full of them. A stadium. We are here today to test your knowledge on a new policy document that's come out. And to be official, it is entitled What Matters Towards Protecting What Matters Towards a More Confident, Cohesive and Resilient United Kingdom. And you're going to do an analysis, sir. And hopefully I've got everything all set up correct in the way that you want it. And if I haven't, sue me. Okay? Because that's the way everything's going over here. And if you don't like it, I'm going to bomb this out of you.
I mean, I'm going to try and do an analysis. It's quite different when they give you these word salads, John, but we'll go through. So can't go through the whole paper, obviously, because it is just a load of leftover babble.
Okay, well, what would you like first? Would you like, you've got a video there and you've got pictures. What would you want?
Well, I'll just explain. This is what caused a bit of uproar, hasn't it? I think this paper came out yesterday. It sets out Labour government's new social cohesion strategy, focused on strengthening communities, tackling extremism, and addressing hate crime. Or does it? It'll just go the key themes in the strategy: social cohesion, counter-extremism, tackling hate crimes, community programs, and all those institutions they've ruined.
Okay, now look, I put this under a category of education. There's to be no swearing.
Bollocks.
Okay.
Anyway. before we... The first part of my analysis on this is that these government strategy papers, John, and this one fits the bill, often contain aspirational language. Well, we've got loads of that.
Political framing, just like the government.
Political framing, we've got plenty of that. And policy proposals all mixed together. That's why this thing just sounds like a contradictory load of nonsense. So, as I've called it, inconsistent leftover babble full of contradictions. But strangely, at the same time, it's got things in there that you'd expect from a right-wing party.
Oh,
which is very strange.
So they got a right-wing tendency from this government.
Well, I don't.
Are they all of a sudden realizing where the people really are?
I think they've realised their ideas of what's caused all this, and the only way to fix it is, well, you know which way to go. But anyway, it's full of contradictions. I mean, you can put the first screenshot up if you want. The main one, and it's a big one, it begins by presenting Britain as an outstanding success story of social cohesion, yeah? Yet it then immediately argues that an urgent national strategy is needed to defend it. And this is the Prime Minister's words in his foreword. He writes, "The ease at which people of different cultures and races live side by side in our diverse democracy is apparently envied around the globe, as well as feared." Yeah. It says, Britain can be proud about its approach to social cohesion, apparently. Are you proud?
No, and I would question that word cohesion in this country.
We'll move to screenshot number 2, and we can see the contradiction, because the document then moves to a far more alarmist tone, in my opinion, and claims that cohesion has been poorly practiced. And that's strengthening it has become an emergency, John. It's an emergency. It's not like we've been going on about this for years, is it?
No.
God. So my question is, if Britain's model is genuinely a global example of this successful integration, then what's the need for all this, John?
Because everything is rosy in the garden as far as the government are concerned.
No, because they're not going to take the ownership of the problem being theirs and the previous governments. It's at risk, remember. But who is it at risk from? Now, we know it's the right, don't we? We know that's what they mean. Even though this document spells out the actual threat, and it's obviously majority of Islamic extremism. we've had all this nonsense before, John. They've done all this kind of policy before, and yet we're still here. The elephant's still in the room, but they just won't look at it. So again, if cohesion is fragile enough to require this national call to action, as Keir Starmer says in his opening phrase, then it begins to look more rhetorical than analytical.
Yeah.
And again, it's presenting two narratives at the same time. Britain's integration model works exceptionally well, apparently. Well, that it's failing badly enough to require this major intervention.
Right.
I mean, again, how many times do we see people just being really inconsistent and not really knowing what they're talking about? So
regularly on a Wednesday at 12 o'clock while Parliament is in session, and on a number of occasions in the House of Lords. There you go. That's correct. Where common sense just seems to...
Just to show how they work, we'll look at government policy. Sometimes they have like 3 layers of messages simultaneously, which I've already said. So with this one, we've got the positive narrative, haven't we? The country is fundamentally strong. Cohesion's great, isn't it? And we'll just wait for that one a minute. And then there's the risk framing, which the threat could undermine strength. But we know who they mean by the threat, and it's not the one they've took a blind eye to. And then you've got your policy justification. Therefore, new action is needed to make us believe that they can or are willing to do any of this, which is the funny part. Now, I said about right wing verbiage in here. So it contains...
which slide should we be on here?
Yeah, leave it on this one. So we're going to flick through 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we'll stick with 3. So you've got stuff in here that could easily appear in a right wing, centre right integration strategy. Mm-hmm. You've got immigration limits. So here they're bragging about bringing immigration down from nearly 1 million under the Conservatives.
Yeah.
204,000 in 2025.
Wow.
I mean, to be honest with you, John, if they can half that again a few more times, they'll have done better than anyone else, won't they? Really, if you look at it. So
I do get you. I do get you.
Do we vote for them again because all roads lead to immigration, don't they? But the interesting bit there is look what they admit to. Economic migration rose while the training of domestic workforce dropped and the proportion of UK residents in work fell. So it hit particularly low-skilled sectors.
Yeah.
And for many in the UK, chances brought about by this surge in migration have been too much, too quickly, and put huge pressure on services and housing that were already struggling. Is this not what we've been saying for like 10 or 15 years?
Yeah.
Why are they finally catching up? I mean, I don't really believe it, to be honest. We'll go to number 4 because they talk about framing this thing around cohesion. I mean, look at some of this. For right wing, you've got implement reforms on the points-based system. I mean, where did all this come from?
What? All of a sudden.
Yeah. I mean, look at that number 2. Continue our efforts to reduce irregular migration.
Oh, right. Okay. Just stop the dinghies from coming across. Irregular migration. What a word. Irregular. It's illegal migration they should be talking about there.
To be honest, they are criminal migrants because the first act they do is to break 2 of our immigration laws, which we do have. They ignore them. The next one, the end of asylum hotels and return them to local communities. Either they're being disingenuous or they don't quite understand the issue. It's not just closing the hotels. It's sending the people probably back to where they came from, who were in there in the first place. So we'll move to the next slide. I mean, doesn't this sound right wing? This is it. Now they framed it around social cohesion and cultural expectations for migrants. But what are they? I mean, citizenship to be taught in schools. I mean, apparently anyone can get a citizenship after a certain amount of time, and then anyone.
Shouldn't I be putting a camera up here? I should be putting this up. But
no, it's good. It's big enough. Then right. We can. People can read it.
Yeah.
We'll move to the next one. I think they want to make people talk about. So here we go again, integration, and they want to get people like mandatory English. And a strong
sorry. What? Get them to speak English? I mean, where did that idea come from?
Yeah, where did it come from? It wasn't from these, was it? It's like they're stealing people's policies. I mean,
Because
there's a
they're
strong emphasis.
absolutely frightened to death of losing their positions. Politicians, the biggest thing that they could lose is an election, and they lose their livelihood, their life, everything. All the social gatherings, everything, the whole lot. They lose it all. And they
Yeah.
come down to earth with a big bump. So, are you saying that they're starting to come out with these policies that everybody wants in order to start talking the language to get re-elected?
Yeah, I'll come to that in a minute. So there's this strong emphasis, isn't there, on national values and patriotism and this integration. Keep flicking through and we can stop on screenshot 6. But does
You want,
anyone believe them?
no.
Because what is their definition of patriotism and national values? It's really not in line with ours, is it?
No.
As we've seen. So we'll keep flicking through. See, next?
You tell
They're
me
gonna
when
be
you want number 7, baby.
Oh, we're on. Okay, well, we'll wait. Whoa there, Leslie. We'll slow down. See, now, next, I think, John, they're going to be putting forward policies like, I don't know, banning halal and kosher and possibly deporting millions of people, because that's the next step.
Yep.
I don't believe him. Right, the problem here is, again, it's contradictory, isn't it? Segregated communities, John, isn't integration, is it?
No.
Then they plan to limit immigration, yet they're going to relax asylum routes.
Yep.
And then actually offer people money to go home, which, in my opinion, is going to encourage this even more.
40,000 for families.
That's a lot, isn't it?
That's a lot.
But this is a big one. This is a big one. So if people are going to continue to be segregated by their religion, because that's what this document kind of points to,
Yeah.
then their practices will come before these cultural expectations, won't they?
Yeah.
So it's going to continue. Same with language. If you keep, I don't know, spending millions on giving them their own language to use, and then you don't go and break down these, I don't know, segregated communities, they're all going to stay there and talk the same languages.
Yeah.
Can you really see Labour going in and breaking up these segregated communities? Not a chance, mate. Not a chance. And then this strong emphasis on national values and patriotism is impossible with these leftist type of people, because they created these fictional values, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're not, let's face it, these are fake socialists implementing globalist values where, unfortunately, the homogenous are put second, not first.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It sounds a bit, it's going to sound mad, this, but it sounds like it's maybe like a shift from multiculturalism to more of a civic identity. It's just hard to work out with this word salad.
Well, they're saying within there
really
to participate in work and civic life. They're using the language
They are.
to obey the law and to demonstrate appreciation for what it means to be a citizen of the UK.
It's a bit like reform as well, but they're not
Yeah.
specifying what that actually means. A citizen, well, that's vague, and I think that's something the likes of Reform and definitely Restore are going to try and tighten up. So
Yeah.
we've had enough of that waffle. We're going to look at some of the other things that stuck out in this, and this was this anti-Muslim hostility thing. So this was another criticism. And if you look at it, they're going to adopt this non-statutory. So what's the point, really?
What's the point? Yeah, non-statutory. I mean, is that to stop people from, arguing against it? Because when something starts as non-statutory, once it's actually in writing, it can actually be implemented at any time. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump to becoming legislation.
I mean, let's look at it this way. You can't get the government and other departments to actually make schools adhere to actual statutory guidance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good luck
How are
with
they
this
going to get
nonsense.
anybody to do this?
I mean, as they say, they want a special representative on tackling anti-Muslim hostility. God, this is going quite a long way, isn't it, for some non-statutory guidance?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. But there's going to be broad definitions of religious hatred. Now, the criticism is this going to clash with our freedom to criticize and satire?
Yes, it will. It will. And they'll actually, I'd like to see what the briefing is given to police. That's what I'd like to see, because that's where it's going to come in, to see what the police do when something like this, according to them, crosses that line of this non-statutory definition of anti-Muslim hostility. What are the police being given?
Again, it's contradictory to laws that are already in place, because Section 29J of the Racial and Religious Hatred Act actually gives us the right to criticise religion,
Yeah.
and the satire of it. So what is it this is going to crack down on? I don't know. Well, we can play the video, because someone in Parliament raises some concerns about this too. So it's not just us online and etc. shouting.
All right, well, here's the vid, sir. Here's the vid.
Shadow Minister.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. This proposed definition still raises serious questions. Jonathan Hall KC, the government's independent reviewer of terrorism legislation, has warned that any definition should include clear examples of free speech that are not considered anti-Muslim hatred. He said it is important that people can still openly discuss difficult but significant topics such as migration and Islamism. So it risks undermining free speech within the law, it risks hindering legitimate criticism of Islamism, and it risks creating a backdoor blasphemy law. Translation undermines integration, it wastes taxpayers' money, and it ultimately harms equality. There is no legal duty on councils to translate documents into foreign languages, yet too often officials gold-plate the Equality Act and do so anyway. Meanwhile, around 1 million adults in this country cannot speak English properly. This fundamentally limits their life chances, and it perpetuates separate communities. If a government truly believed in equality, it would not turn a blind eye to practices like family voting, where husbands effectively take the votes off their wives, nor would it tolerate the misogyny and segregation that occur when men prevent women from learning English. And finally, there is the question of, if they might want to listen, because I'm about to talk about anti-Semitism, and I know they've had a problem with that, but on the question of anti-Semitism, will the government challenge anti-Israel boycotts and divestment campaigns in local government, as we have seen recently in Bristol, advocated by a party in this House? Such campaigns fuel hostility towards Jewish people and contribute to the rise in anti-Semitism.
The definition of itself, there is absolutely no question of blasphemy laws by the back door, but we will not do what they did and stand by and simply watch while Muslim communities face targeted abuse in ways that any decent country would consider to be absolutely intolerable. And as for English language teaching, they cut funding for it by 60%, and then have the cheek to stand up there and say there's not enough of it going on. Now, when I was a student, I volunteered to teach English to refugees. I suggest he might go out and do the same thing, because it's very enriching for the volunteer. It's beneficial for the person learning English, and speaking the same language is fundamental to social cohesion.
No, don't go out and teach them English, because they're going to learn how to tick boxes on forms. Forget it. Just get rid of them.
Correct. So the worry there about this, what will be and what won't be free speech, they'll just make it up as they go along. But we've got some clues, because they've tried to push this definition a few times. There's things like you won't be able to discuss entryism, which is a clear thing. It's not people's opinions. It's happening. Maybe the collective blame of all Muslims for the rape gangs and jihad. All right, maybe that's not specifically fair, but if you get that community, I'm afraid we're told that's part and parcel of all that, aren't we? No. And then you've got, I think the big one's going to be the criticism of Muhammad. That's going to be the big one. We should be able to criticise him because he's the one who invented the religion. And quite frankly, in my opinion, it's nonsensical. And you should be able to criticise an ideology like that. But, I mean, listen to the heckling. Did you hear them? Yeah. Again, as soon as someone's making a point and it's something they've done wrong, they'll just shout you down. I mean, look at what happened under Corbyn. I mean, if you're looking at tackling anti-Semitism, all right, Starmer's gone some way to try and stop that. But where's our Anglophobia law anyway? Because, John, it's our culture being
eradicated.
It's our people being replaced. It's our borders that are wide open. It's our history that's being erased or rewritten, so to speak. So, and well, they're just going to throw loads of money at this, at the community, and expect that to work. So should we move on to the Jew hypocrisy? Because he mentioned that, didn't he? So screenshot
He
8.
did. Here we go.
So there you go. In addition to
Combating anti-Semitism.
So they say that in addition to the range of actions the government has already taken to combat anti-Semitism. Really? Wow. Seems like you've been turning a blind eye. I mean, the irony of this statement's incredible, John. So where does the majority of anti-Semitism come from? Well, unlucky, because if you mention that, you're being anti-Muslim, aren't you?
Yeah.
So it's
So what are you supposed to do?
What are you supposed to do? You think they're really combating anti-Semitism, are they?
No.
Really? Because we've been seeing lots of that going on. We'll move on to schools. This one's close to my heart, as viewers might. So here we go with tackling racist abuse in schools. Are they going to be showing, John, all these videos of gangs of non-ethnic Brits beating the English boy or girl on their own?
No, they're not.
A lot of?
They're not.
Will we be seeing it the other way around? Because that rarely happens. I rarely see those videos.
You know, you'll get the white kids beating up the black or the different ethnicities, but but they don't actually tell the whole truth. That's why the white kids get villainized, and they do it all the time.
Yeah, we know what's coming here because I touched on it a while back. So in the school, my son's school, so they're teaching them about the Anthony Walker murder, like over 20 years ago in Liverpool. So that's how far they actually have to go back to find their examples. I mean, meanwhile, I can give you one that's right across the country nationally. Probably the biggest and longest going hate crime there is actually, which is the religious and racially motivated rape, grooming, pimping out, torture and murder of English schoolgirls for decades upon end. But that's not mentioned in this report whatsoever, John. Isn't that very telling? That's the biggest example of hate crime you could ever see.
They don't want to alienate that voter base in any way.
And to prove this point, I was going to show, remember the video we showed the other day where it was the young English lad, the propaganda from the government about sharing memes and being extremism? That's the example of who they're aiming at for the racists. I know my son was literally pulled out of the classroom and spoken to because he said he wanted to put England flags. He never mentioned anything about deporting millions of people, John, or sending all the brown people home or whatever silly excuse these people use to call us racist. But it was just presumed that's the way he was thinking. So we can see where this is going, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Next screenshot, the internet. This is worrying. Read this. I think this is another power grab.
We will make use of robust powers to require platforms to mitigate risks related to their algorithms.
Right, stop there. Let's read between the lines. So they're going to attempt to tinker with the algorithms.
Yeah.
They've tried to do this before and they've tried to explain to them that you can't. It's quite difficult to just censor specific topics. Stuff is going to get through, isn't it? But as you see there, they want to reduce accidental exposure to hateful content. But we know how that's gone in this country because some things are censored that aren't hateful content. But remember at the time, Musk and everyone would just happen to be careful, weren't they? Because they don't want to get sued for, 10% of their annual
turnover
income. And then you look at there, it says we will give independent researchers, so they mean Quangos again, don't they, access to platform data so they can build evidence base to hold companies to account. It just sounds like
another jolly for a bunch of their friends.
Yeah, they're more worrying total control. Yep. This is another power grab on the internet, in my opinion, because they realised they won last time with the whole, what was it, Grok, wasn't it, and the images, and then the Online Safety Act. So they're going for round 3 now, aren't they?
There's just they will at all times, if they can abuse it, they will. It's as simple as that.
They will. So I think, is this the last one now?
Coming up now, here's the last one.
Yeah. So this is the definition of extremism. It's changed a little bit, John, have you not noticed? We've been seeing these documents coming out about being patriotic and right-wing and against immigration. Well, let's have a look at what they see. So common themes include religious or ethnic superiority, Maybe. Well, that includes Islam. Anti-Semitism, obviously, we've heard about that. The anti-Muslim thing, which seems to be a big part, isn't it? Misogyny. It was funny. Ross Kemp did a documentary where he looked into that adolescence. And he thought there was this massive problem with these young English lads being misogynistic. And when he looked into it, he had to change his whole documentary, John, because that's not really what's happening. So there's anti-establishment. See that one?
Yeah.
That's going to be the bit, isn't it, mate? So if you say anything about the immigration and the way the entryism and all this stuff that's going on in the establishment, that's where they're going to get you. Anti-LGBTQ plus, that's a mouthful, grievances. What does that actually mean? Grievances.
No idea.
So if you disagree with the trans ideology, which is actually covered under the Equality Act, they're going to come in with some more contradictory bullshit and say, no, you've got a grievance with it. Again, this vague language is just going to leave it up to, let's make it up as we go along. And then they've thrown in conspiracy theories. Oh, well, that could be anything. It's normally spoiler alert, isn't it? But you know what they mean.
Yeah.
When they
It's
say
just,
that.
it is, I think, a thin end of the wedge. That's what I think.
I think, John, they just know their dream is failing. It's falling apart.
Yeah.
And they know it's their fault. But to fix this, they've got to move to the right. And because even though the right are this alleged threat, they still want your vote. This is how two-faced these people are. But they've still got to appeal to the left as well, John. So unfortunately, on this issue, they're totally screwed.
They're gonna come undone. So I agree with you. I agree with you.
They've alienated all sets of demographics with this contradictory left-o-babbling fake right-wing policies. It's a complete word salad. I'm still not really sure what it means, and they're not. It sounds good, but none of it's going to work.
So what's your total wrap-up of it? In a summary, a conclusion. What is your wrap-up on it?
I was kind of just doing it then. Yeah, it sounds good, John, but they don't tell us how it's going to work. They just say, we've got new powers and laws to do this, that, and the other. It states the bloody obvious, mate. All the stuff we've all been saying, a lot of the policies, I don't know, it doesn't go anywhere any far enough to fix this. Some of the policies that Reform and especially Restore have got would definitely suit the outcome of this policy.
Yeah.
It's just strange times we live in. I remember once I said, didn't I? I mean, I joked that the Conservatives had turned into Labour. And then if we got a Labour government, we'd get a right-wing one. Well, I was semi-joking, and it's semi-happening in this document, but believe it when I see it, mate.
Well, I have to say, I think you did a brilliant job there, sir, in explaining it. And I'm pretty sure that the people out there will understand a little bit more. So,
If anyone's got the time or the patience to go and read through this absolute word salad, then feel free. But whoever writes these things and advises the government, just Jesus, John Blow.
it's bad news.
That's
Well,
for
sir.
your money back. Starmer.
Thank you very much for that. I thought that was a brilliant way of putting these things across for people to actually understand. And this will stand the test of time. So here we go.
Because
Have a
everyone
great-
seems to be outraged, didn't they, over the Muslim bit, and there was a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
There's more to it
Absolutely.
than what we've discussed, but it's crazy. So anyway,
Well.
it's been a pleasure.
Indeed. And we will see everybody on Wednesday. End music. We should have credits as well. But there you go.
Credits to Jonathan Starkey and, of course, myself.
All right, sir. Take it easy.
All right, and you. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you soon.